cheese earns a terrible image. Too greasy, salty, and indulgent. But what if I told you that when chosen correctly, certain cheeses can actually help repair your muscles after 65? That's right, the key to combating sarcopenia could be sitting in your fridge, wrapped in wax paper and ready to surprise you. In this video, I'll discuss 3 cheeses that are high in the proteins, lipids, and nutrients that your aging muscles require. These are not your typical snack cheeses. They are effective, natural muscle-healing therapies that doctors and researchers are quietly suggesting to seniors over the age of 65. Stick with me until the end, and I'll show you how to enjoy them with maximum strength and minimal risk. I'm Dr. Jason Hale, and after nearly 30 years of assisting older folks in regaining strength and mobility, I've learned something astonishing. Before we begin, I'd want to know where you're joining me today. Please leave a remark and feel free to ask any questions you have. Don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss out on the best health ideas. The appropriate type of cheese is not merely safe. It may be one of the most beneficial diets for maintaining muscle mass beyond 65. Sarcopenia, the silent muscle loss that plagues millions, is not inevitable. Today, I'll show you how 3 great everyday cheeses can help you stay strong, steady, and independent for far longer than you might expect. So, get a pen and paper because you'll want to write this down. Let me start with cottage cheese, and I understand what you're thinking. Cottage cheese may remind you of 1980s diet regimens, yet it is one of the most effective muscle-building meals available to older folks. Here's why cottage cheese is so remarkable. A half cup of low-fat cottage cheese provides 14 grams of high-quality protein for only 81 calories. That means over 70% of the calories in cottage cheese are from protein. When compared to normal cheddar cheese, which contains only about 24% protein, you can see why cottage cheese stands out. However, it is not only about the amount of protein. Each half-cup portion of cottage cheese contains more than 1 gram of leucine. Consider leucine to be the key that unlocks your muscle-building potential. As we age, our muscles become more resistant to growth, requiring more leucine to receive the message. To stimulate muscle growth, older adults require approximately 3 grams of leucine per meal. And cottage cheese provides about 1/3 of that amount with just 1 dish. Cottage cheese is particularly appealing to my elderly patients due to its ease of consumption. Many people tell me that they have difficulty chewing tough meats or have lost their appetite as they have become older. Cottage cheese is soft, creamy, and very friendly on the digestive tract. You may eat it right out of the container, mix it with fruit for breakfast, or blend it into smoothies so you won't notice it. Cottage cheese's protein is mostly casein, which is very beneficial for elderly persons. Casein is a slow-release protein, which means it delivers a continuous stream of amino acids to your muscles for 6 to 8 hours. It's similar to having a time-release muscle protector working for you all day. This is especially useful at night, as eating cottage cheese before bed can aid your body from breaking down muscle while you sleep. The research on cottage cheese is quite impressive. Studies involving over 1,000 senior individuals found that those who consumed cottage cheese on a daily basis gained significant muscle mass over time. Casein protein, which digests slowly, proved especially helpful at preserving muscle mass during periods of inactivity. Now, let me show you some practical methods to use cottage cheese. For breakfast, try it with fruit and honey. The natural sweetness makes it delightful, and the combination provides protein and antioxidants. If you like savory flavors, combine cottage cheese, diced tomatoes, cucumber, and fresh herbs such as dill or chives. For lunch, use it as a protein-rich foundation for dips or spreads. At dinner, It works well in casseroles or as a lighter substitute for ricotta and pasta dishes. If you're having difficulties with the texture at first, try combining cottage cheese with fruit to create a protein smoothie. You won't taste the cottage cheese, but you'll get all of the muscle-building advantages. Some of my patients even use it instead of mayonnaise in their chicken or tuna salads. For the best outcomes, aim for half to a full cup every day with a focus on breakfast. After fasting all night, your muscles are most responsive to protein first thing in the morning. A serving of cottage cheese in the morning can help you build muscle throughout the rest of the day. The second powerhouse, Parmesan cheese, provides concentrated nourishment. Now, let's talk about our second muscle-building champion, who may surprise you. It's Parmesan cheese, also known as Parmigiano Reggiano in Italian. You may think of Parmesan as something to put on pasta, but this aged cheese is one of the most nutrient-dense muscle-building meals available. Here's what distinguishes Parmesan. 1 ounce, which is about the size of a thumb, contains more than 10 grams of complete protein. This makes it one of the most protein-rich cheeses available. This great concentration is helpful for older folks who may consume fewer portions than in the past. But this is when Parmesan becomes really fascinating. Something remarkable occurs throughout the aging process, which requires at least 24 months for true Parmesan. Natural enzymes in cheese degrade proteins into smaller, more digestible fragments. It's almost as if the cheese has already been digested for you, which makes it considerably easier on your stomach and digestive system. This is especially crucial for older folks, because our digestive systems no longer function as well as they once did. Many of my patients report feeling bloated or uncomfortable after consuming protein-rich diets. However, because to its unique age process, Parmesan is extremely soft and easy to stomach. In reality, after 2 years of age, authentic Parmesan contains almost little lactose, so even lactose-intolerant persons may normally consume it without issue. However, Parmesan is more than simply protein. This cheese is also an excellent source of calcium. 1 ounce contains 331 milligrams of calcium, which is approximately 25% of your daily requirements. You might be thinking, calcium is for bones, right? Yes, but your muscles also need calcium. Each muscle contraction requires calcium to function properly. Your muscles cannot function properly without enough calcium, regardless of how much protein you consume. Recent research has shown some surprising findings about calcium and muscle atrophy in elderly persons. People who do not consume enough calcium on a daily basis are substantially more likely to lose muscle mass as they age. So, when you eat Parmesan, you're getting not only protein for muscle growth, but also calcium for optimal muscular contraction. I understand what some of you are thinking. Real Parmigiano Reggiano can be pricey. But here's the thing with Parmesan. Because it is so high in nutrients, you don't need much. Only 1 to 2 ounces per day will significantly improve your muscular health. When grated fresh, that amounts to only around 2 tablespoons. And speaking about grating it fresh, this is quite vital. The pre-grated containers in the shop simply do not compare to the real thing. When you grate Parmesan fresh, you receive more flavor and nutrients, and you'll be happy with smaller amounts because the flavor is so much deeper. Let me share some simple methods to incorporate Parmesan into your daily routine. For breakfast, grate it over scrambled eggs. That combo contains more than 20 grams of protein, allowing you to start your day strong. At lunch, generously sprinkle it on soups and salads. Everything tastes better with its rich, savory flavor. For dinner, drizzle it over vegetables or make a simple protein-packed gratin with cauliflower or broccoli. You can even take little pieces of Parmesan as a snack, perhaps with some almonds or fruit. The mix of protein, calcium, char and rich flavor makes it extremely pleasant. Look for wheels labeled Parmigiano Reggiano, with the unmistakable dots around the rind. It's worth investing in authentic Parmesan because the greater nutrition and flavor mean you'll be happy with smaller amounts, making it more cost-effective in the long term. The third secret weapon is ricotta cheese, a quick-acting muscle builder. Ricotta, our third muscle-building cheese, has a specific secret that distinguishes it from all other cheeses. Ricotta is manufactured from whey, the liquid left behind after creating other cheeses. This may appear to be a byproduct, but it actually provides ricotta with excellent muscle-building capabilities. Allow me to explain why this means so much. When you eat most cheeses, you mostly acquire casein protein, which digests slowly over several hours. But ricotta has a lot of whey protein, which is the fastest absorbing protein you can eat. Within 30 to 60 minutes of eating whey protein, your body will begin to absorb and use it. This quickness is critical while growing muscle in older folks. Consider it this way. If you've just finished a walk around the neighborhood or done some light gardening, your muscles are primed for nutrition. When you consume ricotta, the fast-absorbing proteins swiftly reach your muscles, where they may be used most efficiently. A half-cup portion of whole milk ricotta contains 14 grams of protein, which is comparable to cottage cheese, but has a different amino acid composition. Ricotta contains a high concentration of branched-chain amino acids. These particular amino acids have the remarkable ability to travel directly to muscle tissue, bypassing the liver completely. They get directly to work on muscle repair and growth. Ricotta's extremely smooth, creamy texture makes it particularly beneficial for older folks. Many of my patients who have dental problems or difficulties swallowing find that ricotta is much easier to eat than other proteins. It has a moderate flavor that goes well with both sweet and savory recipes. Ricotta is also naturally lower in salt than other cheeses. It has only about 100 milligrams of salt per half cup, compared to more than 400 milligrams in many other cheeses. This is significant since many older persons need to limit their sodium intake for heart health and blood pressure. The research on ricotta is very impressive. In one study, participants who ate around 3/4 of a cup of ricotta daily not only gained muscle mass, but also improved their balance test scores and overall fitness. Over the course of 90 days, the men in the research shown particularly remarkable increases in muscle strength. But there's another advantage to ricotta that is often ignored. Ricotta contains whey protein, which has been demonstrated to decrease blood pressure and promote cardiovascular health. So, in addition to growing muscle, you're also improving your heart health. For elderly persons, this twofold benefit is extremely beneficial. Ricotta is quite versatile in the kitchen. Unlike cottage cheese, which has a distinct texture, ricotta is smooth and creamy, with a mild flavor that complements practically anything. For breakfast, combine ricotta with honey and cinnamon before spreading it over whole grain toast. It's like eating a protein-packed version of cream cheese. For lunch, ricotta is a fantastic dip basis. Mix it with herbs and serve with veggies, or use it instead of mayonnaise in sandwiches. Ricotta can be stuffed into vegetables such as bell peppers or zucchini, stacked in casseroles, or blended into pasta sauces to make them creamy and protein-rich. Ricotta can also be used as a dessert ingredient. Combine it with cocoa powder and honey to make a nutritious chocolate mousse, or combine it with fruits to make a protein-rich smoothie. Some of my patients use ricotta in baking to replace some of the flour in pancakes or muffins, increasing the protein level. Choose whole milk ricotta for optimum protein and satiety. The part-skim variants have fewer calories, but they may not deliver the same muscle-building advantages. Look for brands with only 3 ingredients: milk, vinegar, or citric acid, and salt. The best time to eat ricotta is within 2 hours of engaging in any type of physical activity. even something as simple as gardening or walking. Ricotta's fast-absorbing whey protein ensures that amino acids are delivered to your muscles at the optimal period for repair and growth. Now that you've decided which cheeses to consume, let's discuss when to eat them, because timing can make a big difference in how effectively they work for you. This is where new study has shown some surprising findings that contradict what many people believe about food. For years, we've been advised that dinner should be our most substantial meal of the day. However, when it comes to muscle gain after 65, breakfast is the most essential opportunity. Here's why this is so important. After sleeping all night, your body has been fasting for 8 to 10 hours. During this time, your body has been breaking down muscle tissue to generate energy for vital processes. Your first meal of the day is an opportunity to shift the balance from muscle breakdown to muscle development. Research suggests that older persons who consume 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast have much higher muscle protein synthesis throughout the day than those who eat a normal low-protein breakfast of toast and coffee. Nonetheless, most adults over 65 consume only approximately 8 grams of protein for breakfast. That is not nearly enough to initiate the muscle-building process. This is where our 3 cheeses become quite effective tools. A breakfast of half a cup cottage cheese, berries, and an ounce of freshly grated Parmesan has 24 grams of high-quality protein and more than 2 grams of leucine. That is enough to cause your body to shift from breaking down muscle to building it up. But timing isn't only for breakfast. It also matters how you distribute protein throughout the day. Many elderly folks exhibit what I call the light-heavy pattern. They consume very little protein at breakfast and lunch, then try to compensate with a substantial piece of meat at supper. Unfortunately, this strategy does not function well with aged muscles. Your muscles can only use 25 to 35 grams of protein at a time for developing new muscular tissue. If you eat 60 grams of protein for dinner, your body cannot store the remainder for later use. It's like attempting to irrigate a plant by pouring a whole bucket of water on it once a day, rather than giving it tiny amounts throughout the day. The optimal plan for combating muscle loss is to consume 25 to 30 grams of protein with each main meal. This may be cottage cheese with strawberries for breakfast, a ricotta and vegetable sandwich for lunch, or your typical dinner with freshly grated Parmesan on top. There's one more timing secret that can significantly improve your performance. If you engage in any form of physical exercise, even a 15-minute walk around the block or some light gardening, try to eat one of these cheeses within 2 hours. According to research, the combination of physical exercise and protein produces a far stronger muscle-building reaction than either alone. This is not to say that you should exercise vigorously. Walking, stretching, and doing housework are all examples of gentle muscle-building activities. The idea is to take protein while your muscles are still responsive after exercise. One of the most common queries I receive from patients is how much cheese they should consume per day. Let me provide you with concrete, practical advice based on what research reveals works best. First, let's determine your overall protein requirements. Current recommendations for persons over the age of 65 suggest consuming 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. To convert your weight from pounds to kilograms, divide it by 2.2. Then double that value by 1.2. For example, if you weigh 150 pounds, it is around 68 kilos. Multiplying 68 by 1.2 yields around 82 grams of protein per day. Now, you won't get all of this from cheese alone. That would be unbalanced nourishment. However, cheese can supply a considerable portion, particularly at meals where other protein sources may be limited. Based on the research studies that produce the best results, here is what I recommend for daily cheese consumption. Aim for 2 to 3 servings of our muscle-building cheeses each day, each containing 10 to 15 grams of protein. This may include half a cup of breakfast, an ounce of Parmesan for lunch, and a third of a cup of ricotta for dinner. That combination provides around 35 to 40 grams of protein from cheese, which is roughly half of your daily protein need. Now, I understand that some of you might be concerned about the calories and fat levels. True, cheese contains fat, but keep in mind that we're talking about particular serving sizes, not endless amounts. The total calories from these cheese portions would be between 300 and 400 per day, which is perfectly appropriate as part of a healthy diet. The most critical aspect is consistency. The trials with the most impressive benefits had people eating cheese every day for at least 60 to 90 days. You can't expect to grow significant muscle mass by eating cheese only once or twice a week. Consider it like getting a daily vitamin. It should become a regular part of your regimen. I often urge my patients to consider cheese as an investment in their future independence. The few extra calories you're consuming now could mean the difference between being able to climb stairs effortlessly at 80 and suffering with basic daily tasks. While research clearly reveals that cheese alone can assist battle muscle loss, combining it with the appropriate type of exercise provides what experts refer to as a synergistic impact. The outcomes exceed what you would get from cheese or exercise alone. Resistance training is the most effective sort of exercise for growing muscle. Now, before you start worrying about hefty weights and complicated gym equipment, allow me to put you at ease. Resistance exercise for older folks can be as easy as getting up and down from a chair, performing push-ups against a wall, or utilizing elastic resistance bands. Here's what the science says about this strong combination. When you conduct resistance exercises and then consume one of our muscle-building cheeses within 2 hours, your muscles respond far more powerfully than if you just ate the cheese. In fact, this combination can restore what experts refer to as a youthful muscle-building response in persons over the age of 80. The beauty of this strategy is that you do not have to work out every day. According to research, resistance exercise 2 to 3 times per week is sufficient to maintain and grow muscle when combined with adequate protein intake. On days when you do not engage in regular exercise, you can still consume your cheese servings to offer consistent nutrients to your muscles. Even ordinary tasks qualify as resistance training. Gardening, carrying groceries, climbing stairs, and even hard housework all give muscular stimulation that complements protein intake. The idea is to stay active and then provide your muscles with the necessary nutrition. While cheese can be an effective muscle-building tool, there are some crucial considerations, particularly if you have specific health conditions or concerns. Let's start with lactose intolerance, which grows more frequent with age. The good news is that the cheeses we've covered are often well tolerated compared to ordinary milk. Following a lengthy aging process, aged Parmesan contains almost no lactose. Cottage cheese and ricotta do contain lactose, but significantly less than milk. If you are lactose intolerant, begin with modest doses and observe how you feel. You could also take lactase enzyme pills before eating cheese. If you have high blood pressure, you should limit your sodium intake. Parmesan is naturally elevated in salt because to the aging process. Cottage cheese varies greatly between brands. Some types include more than 400 milligaules of sodium per half cup, whilst low-sodium versions contain less than 100 milliliters. Ricotta is naturally low in salt. When purchasing, aim for low-sodium alternatives when they are available, and supplement your cheese consumption with plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. For those of you keeping track of your cholesterol readings, I have some good news. Recent large-scale studies involving thousands of participants have found that cheese consumption, as part of a balanced diet, does not significantly increase the risk of heart disease in most people. The key is portion control and selecting the appropriate types. Stick to the recommended serving amounts, and if you're concerned about fat, choose lower-fat alternatives such as part-skim ricotta or low-fat cottage cheese. If you take blood thinners such as warfarin, you should consume cheese on a consistent basis. Cheese includes vitamin K, which can interact with some drugs if your intake fluctuates significantly. The approach is not to avoid cheese, but to eat it on a regular basis and inform your doctor that you are including cheese into your daily diet. High protein intake might be troublesome for anyone suffering from renal disease or having diminished kidney function. If you have any kidney problems, please see your doctor before drastically increasing your protein intake from cheese or any other source. Now, let's combine all of this information into a realistic plan that you can begin applying right away. I'll show you exactly how to include these 3 potent cheeses into your daily regimen for optimal muscle-building benefits. Begin by making breakfast into a muscle-building meal. Eat half to 1 cup of cottage cheese within an hour after waking up. You can combine it with fresh berries for antioxidants and natural sweetness, or with chopped tomatoes and fresh herbs for a savory taste. If cottage cheese doesn't appeal to you right away, try ricotta spread on whole grain toast with honey and cinnamon. The idea is to consume 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast to jumpstart your muscle-building process throughout the day. Look for unique ways to incorporate Parmesan into your lunch. Grate a liberal ounce into any salad, soup, or sandwich. The rich, savory flavor complements other foods and makes them more satisfying. If you're having a light lunch, consider using ricotta as a spread or dip foundation for vegetables. Remember, you'll need an additional 25 to 30 grams of protein at this meal to maintain consistent muscle support. At dinner, add cheese wisely to increase the protein composition of your dish. If you're eating pasta, add ricotta to the sauce for richness and protein. If you're having vegetables, generously sprinkle them with freshly grated Parmesan. If your main dish already has a lot of protein from meat or fish, you can use less cheese or reserve it for an evening snack. Keep these muscle-building cheeses handy for snacking. Small packages of cottage cheese, pre-portioned ricotta, or bits of Parmesan can provide rapid nourishment after a workout or in between meals when you need a boost. Assume you spend 10 minutes doing easy activities such as standing up and sitting down in a chair 10 times, performing 10 push-ups against a wall, and moving your arms up and down with modest weights or even water bottles. This simple routine may take you only 10 minutes. If you follow this activity with a snack of cottage cheese or a dinner, including Parmesan or ricotta, your muscles will use the protein much more effectively than if you ate the cheese while sitting all day. It's as if the activity wakes up your muscles and makes them more responsive to the nutrition you're delivering. I recommend keeping a brief journal throughout the first few weeks. Make a note of which cheeses you ate, how much you ate, and when. After 2 weeks, begin paying attention to any changes in your energy levels, how you feel during everyday tasks, or your general sense of vigor. After 30 days, you may notice that actions such as carrying groceries or getting up from a chair become easier. After 90 days, you should see considerable gains in muscle strength and overall physical function. As we come to the close of our time together, allow me to provide you with clear, concrete actions that you can use right now to begin your muscle-building cheese journey. First, go to your grocery store and get all 3 cheeses we've discussed. Purchase cottage cheese, authentic Parmesan, and ricotta cheese. Buy plenty for at least a week so you can experiment with different ways to eat them and see what you like best. Second, calculate your daily protein requirements using the simple method I provided. Write down this figure and post it somewhere you'll see it every day, such as on your refrigerator, to serve as a daily reminder of your objective. Third, schedule your meals for tomorrow. ensuring that each has 25 to 30 grams of protein and at least one of our 3 muscle-building cheeses. Fourth, if you aren't currently engaging in some type of physical activity, begin with 5 minutes of simple movements. This could include standing up and sitting down on a chair, performing push-ups against a wall, or lifting light weights or water bottles. Plan to do this only 2 or 3 times this week. Nothing too overwhelming. Fifth, mark your calendar for 90 days from now. That's when you should reflect on how you feel, how strong you've become, and what changes you've noticed in your daily life. Many individuals are quite amazed by the difference that occurs in just 3 months. Remember that muscle loss is not a natural feature of getting older. With these 3 cheeses in your daily diet, along with the ways I've discussed today, you can maintain and even rebuild muscle mass well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. The evidence is clear, the strategy is straightforward, and the opportunity for good change is genuine. However, information without action will not benefit you. The question is whether you will take the initial step. Will you go purchase cottage cheese and have it for breakfast tomorrow? Will you grate fresh Parmesan on your lunch? Will you commit to consuming cheese consistently for 90 days to see what your body is truly capable of? I believe you will, because I believe that everyone has the right to age with strength, confidence, and independence. These 3 basic cheeses might be useful partners on your travels. Use them judiciously and consistently, and prepare to be amazed by how your body reacts. Your muscles are prepared and waiting for the nutrition they require to repair and develop stronger. With cottage cheese, Parmesan, and ricotta on your side, you're set for success. It's never too late to begin gaining muscle, and you now know just how to do so. Thank you for spending time with me today. Here's to your health, strength, and many more years of freedom and vigor to come. Don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications to ensure you never miss out on the best health ideas. Now, go eat some cheese. Your future self will thank you for this.